Welcome students to online classes of mathematics for class 9th. In this video we are going to study the chapter number 3, which is coordinate geometry of NCERT textbook. We will try to cover the exercise 3.3. This is our session number 3 for this particular chapter. Myself Deepak Gautam, TGT Mathematics in Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan. So let's start with today's class. This chapter coordinate geometry in total have only 3 subtopics, out of which we have covered the first 2 subtopics in the previous 2 sessions. Okay, in this session we are going to cover the subtopic number 3, which is plotting a point in the plane if its coordinates are given. Okay, so let's start with exercise 3.3. So we have the topic plotting a point in the plane if its coordinates are given. Before that, you should know the sign convention. Sign conventions means we have this xy plane in which we have two axes which are intersecting each other at a point, and that point is called origin, represented by capital O. This axis, which is the horizontal axis, is known as x axis, and this vertical axis is known as y axis. Okay, and it is named as x and x bar and y and y bar. Okay, from O to x we have the positive value of x, and from O to y we have positive value of y, and from O to x dash or x bar we have the negative value of x. Similarly, from O to y dash we have negative value of y. Okay, based on this we can find out that this in this direction we have positive values, also in this direction we have positive value. Therefore, in this first quadrant the sign of the point will be plus and plus. This is for x and this is for y. That means if the coordinate of a point of both are positive number, that means that point will certainly lie in the first quadrant. Okay, then in the second quadrant the x here is negative while y is positive. Therefore, the coordinate of the point lying in the second quadrant will be negative for x and positive for y. So that means if a point have negative value and of x and positive value of y, that means that point will certainly lie in the second quadrant. Okay, similarly in the third quadrant both the x side have negative value, also the y side have negative value. That means a point lying in the third quadrant must have both the x and y negative. That means it will be in the form of minus x or minus y. If a point is like this, that means this point will lie in the third quadrant. Okay, then in fourth quadrant we have positive value of x and negative value of y. That means this point will be like this, x and minus y. The x value of x will be positive and value of y will be negative. So these are the sign conventions. That means if a point have a coordinate both plus, it will be in the first quadrant. If its coordinate are x minus and y plus, that will be in second quadrant. If both points are of negative with negative sign, that will be in the third quadrant. And if x is positive and y is negative, that means it will be in the fourth quadrant. Okay, that's what I have written here. If a point is in the first quadrant, then the point will be in the form of x and xy. Okay, similarly if a point is in second quadrant, that means the point will be in the form of minus and plus. If a point is in third quadrant, that it will be in the form of minus and minus. If the point is in fourth quadrant, it will be in the form of plus and minus. So by just looking at the sign of the coordinate of a point, you can easily find out that in which quadrant it must be lying. Okay, based on this we have this exercise 3.3. Before that we have 2 examples. So we'll first do the example, which is example number 3. It is locate the point 5 0 0 5 2 5 5 2 3 minus 3 and 5 minus 3 minus 5 5 minus 3 and 6 1 in the Cartesian plane. So we have to locate all these points in the Cartesian plane. So for that, first we have to draw the Cartesian plane. Cartesian plane means xy plane. So we will draw this on the graph paper. Okay, so you will draw this only on the graph paper. So first thing that we have to do is we'll draw the two axes of this xy plane. Okay, you have to use pencil and scale for this. So first we have to draw two axes like this. This is our y axis, so we'll name it here y and y dash, or you can call it y bar. Okay, then in the middle we have to draw another axis which will be our x axis. Okay, like this, and we'll name it x bar here and x here. This arrow represented these two lines are continue in their respective directions. Okay, this arrows means that means this line is continuing in x direction, and the point where the two axes intersect each other is called the origin and represented by capital letter O. Okay, now we have to mark the numbers. That means in this OX direction we have +1, +2, +3, +4, +5, +6 and +7 and so on. Okay, now you can see what I have done is I have marked the points at the equal distance. Okay, this is something you have to do while drawing the axis and marking the point. All the points should be drawn at the equal interval or the equal distance. Okay, in each direction. Similarly, in this direction we have positive value of y, that is +1, +2, +3, +4, +5 and +6. Similarly, in OX direction we have negative value of x. That means here we have -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6 and -7. Similarly, in the downward direction we have negative value of y. Now we have -1 here, -2, -3, -4, -5 and -6. So that's how we draw the xy plane. Okay, so why I have taken this axis only till 7 here and till 6 here, because the maximum value of the point is given to us is 5 or 6. Okay, so we will not draw it beyond 6 or 7, because the maximum value that is given to us in the question is only this here, 6. Okay, the lowest is 0, so we'll draw it about till 6 or 7. Okay, we don't need to draw it further. Okay, now let's start with the first point. First point is 5 0. 5 0 means its x coordinate is 5 and y coordinate is 0. If like I told in the previous class, if the y coordinate is 0, that means that point is lying on the x axis. So we have this, I'm choosing a different color, okay, to mark the points. So x is 0, y is 1. So we'll start from the origin. X is +5, so we'll move the 5 places in the x direction, so we'll reach here. And y is 0, that means it will not move in the y direction, so that point is here. We have to mark a circle around it and we'll write its coordinate, which is 5 0. Okay, next point is 0 5. Now the x is 0 and y is 5, that means we'll start from the origin. Since x is 0, so we'll stay here. Then y is 5, so we'll move in the positive y direction of 5 places, that means that point is here. So we'll mark the circle around it and write its coordinate, which is 0 5. Next we have 2 and 5. Now you can see both number are positive, that means this point has to be lying in the first quadrant. Okay, so x is 2, so we'll start from the origin, move 2 places in the positive x direction, that means here. And y is 5, that +5, so we'll move in the positive y direction up to 5 places, that means here. So the point will be here, so this point is 2 5. Okay, next we have 5 2, that means now x is 5 and y is 2, so we'll again start from origin. X is 5, that means we +5. Okay, so we'll move the positive x direction, that is will reach here, and y is 2, so we'll go 2 places upward. So this point is here, that is 5 2. Next one is x is -3 and y is 5. So x, value of x is negative and value of y is positive. That means this point has to be lying in the second quadrant, because in second quadrant we have negative value of x and positive value of y. So first point is -3, so we'll move in the negative direction of x. So 1 2 and 3 here, this is -3 here. Okay, then we have y is +5, so we'll go the move in the upward direction, so we'll reach here to after moving 5 places. So this point is x -3 and y is +5. Next we have -3 and -5. That means now both number are with negative sign. That means this point will be lying in the third quadrant. So x is 3 and x is -3 and y is -5. So we'll again start from origin. Since x is -3, so we'll move the 3 places in the negative x direction, and y is -5. So that means we'll go downward 5 places. So this point will be here. This is a -3 and -5. Okay, next we have +5 -3. X is +5, y is -3. Again from the origin, x is +5, so we'll move the positive direction of x and negative direction of y. So that point will be here. So that's our point, which is x is +5, y is -3. Now we have to plot the last point, which is x 6 1. X is 6, y is 1. That will be here. So we'll start again from the origin, move to 6 places in the x direction and 1 places in the +5 direction. So that point will be here. Okay, let me use a different color. So that point will be here, 6 1. Okay, so that's how we can represent any point if its coordinates are given in the xy plane or Cartesian plane. Okay, I hope it's clear to you. Moving to the next example, we have example number 4. It says plot the following ordered pairs xy of numbers as point in the Cartesian plane. Use the scale 1 centimeter equals to 1 unit. That means you have to draw the first you will draw the Cartesian plane, and you will mark each unit at the distance of 1 centimeter. So you will consider 1 centimeter as 1 unit. That means this is 3 centimeter, 7 centimeter, 0 centimeter, 3.5 centimeter, and so on for all the points. Okay, so first and the foremost thing is to draw the Cartesian plane or xy plane, again using the pencil and scale. So first place your scale in the middle of the graph paper and draw the vertical axis. That's our y-axis. So we'll name it, first mark the arrow here and name it y here, and mark another arrow downward side and name it y dash. Then from the middle draw the horizontal axis. That will be our x-axis. Okay, now mark x here and x bar here. Okay, now mark the points. Now you can see the highest value that we have here is for y, which is 7. Okay, +7. So in the upward direction we'll go to 7, and that is the highest value we have, 7. Okay, all the other are less than 7. So first mark the point where the two axes intersect there, that's our origin O. Then we'll mark +1, +2. We are considering this to be a 1 centimeter distance. Okay, so +2, +3, +4, +5, +6, and +7, and so on. Similarly, on this side we have -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, and -7. And in forward direction we have 1, +2, +3, +4, +5, +6, and +7. Okay, then we have in the downward direction -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6 and -7. Okay, and so on. Okay, now we'll plot the points. First point that we have is x is -3 and y is +7. X -3 will be on the left hand side direction. This is our x -3. Then we have y +7. That means in y +7 means we'll go upward direction for the y axis. So that point will be here. This is our point x -3 and y +7. Okay, next we have x0 and y 3.5. X is 0, that means now we'll stay at the origin. X is 0 and y is -3.5. Minus negative value y is in the downward direction, so we'll go in downward. 3.5 will be lying between 3 and 4, so this point will be here. This is our x0 and y is -3.5. Okay, now next point is x is -3 and y is x is -1 and y is -3. Okay, so x -1, that means we'll move in the negative direction of x, and y is -3, so we'll go the downward side. So that point will be here. This is x -1 and y -3. Next we have x4 and y4. Both number are positive, that means this will be in the first quadrant. So x4 is here, y4 is here, so there enter that point 4 and 4 will be here, x4 and y4. Then we have x +2 and y -3. X +2 means we'll go the right hand side, which is x +2 will be here, and y is -3, so we'll go the downward direction. So that point will be here. Let me choose a different color. This point will be here. This is x2 and y -3. Okay, so that's how we can plot or draw or mark any point on the Cartesian plane. Okay, you have to mark this point on the graph paper. Okay, now let's start the exercise 3.3. This exercise have only 2 questions, okay, of same type. We have to mark this point on the graph paper. So first question is, in which quadrant or on which axis do each of the point, these given points, x -2 4, 3 -1, -2 0, 1 and 2, -3 and -5. So first you have to state in which quadrant each of the point are lying. Then you have to answer. You have to verify your answer by locating them on the Cartesian plane. Okay, so this point will be, since it has negative value of x and positive value of y, so that is it should be in the second quadrant. Okay, then the second point is x is +3 and y is -1. So we have x plus and y -1 in the fourth quadrant. Okay, then we have x -1 and y 0. Since we have y 0, that means this point is lying on the x axis. This will be on the x axis. Then we have x1 and y +2. Both are positive, so this will be in the first quadrant. Okay, then we have -3 and -5. Since the both value are negative, so this will be in the third quadrant. Okay, now we'll verify them by plotting on the graph paper. You have to write in your notebook that the point -2 4 will be in second quadrant. You have to write it for the all the point. Okay, I have given you the answer. First point in the second quadrant, second point in the fourth quadrant, third point is the on the x-axis, fourth on first quadrant in first quadrant, and fifth will be in the third quadrant. Okay, you have to write it like this. This point will be in the first quadrant and so on for the remaining points. Okay, let's draw now. First we have to draw the two axes. Okay, let's start by drawing the vertical axis, which will be our x-axis. Okay, and then draw the horizontal line, and that will be for y-axis, sorry, x-axis. This is our x-axis, x and x dash. This will be a y-axis, y and y dash. Okay, now again start marking the point. First 0, then 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Similarly, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. On the downward side we have -1, -2, -3, -4, -5 and -6 and -7. Okay, let's start with the first point. First point is x -2 and y is 4. So that point will be x -2 in the negative x direction and +4 will go in the upward side. So this point will be here. X -2 and y is 4. Okay, now you can see this is lying in the second quadrant. Okay, next point is x is +3 and y is -1. X is +3 in the positive x direction and y -1 in the downward. So this point will be here. This is x +3 and y is -1. Now you can see this is lying in the fourth quadrant. Next we have x is -1, y is 0. X -1 will be here, and since y is 0, so this point will be on the x-axis. So this is our point, x -1 and y 0. Then we have next point, x1, y2. This point will be x is 1 here and y2. That means this point will be here. This x1 and y is 2. Both are positive points. So this is in the first quadrant. Next is x -3 and y -5. X -3 is in the negative x direction and y in the negative y direction. This point will be here. This is -3 and -5. Okay, that's how we can plot this point, and we have verified that they are lying in their respective mentioned quadrant. Okay, I hope it's clear to you now. That's how we can represent any given point in the Cartesian plane system or xy plane. Moving to the next question, we have plot the point xy given in the following table on the plane, choosing suitable unit for distance on the x-axis. So that unit we generally choose 1 unit is equals to 1 centimeter. That means we'll take 1 centimeter equals to 1 unit on graph paper. Okay, so again we'll start by drawing the two axes. So first we draw the vertical line, that is our for y-axis. Then we'll draw the, now you can see one thing from here, the highest value of y is 8 and the highest value of x is 3. Okay, so in the upward direction we need at least 8 points. So we'll draw this axis slightly on the lower side. Okay, like this. Okay, and you can see what I have done is I have marked the x-axis on the down little lower side, not in the middle, because we need more space on the upward side. So we'll start by marking the point. This is our x bar, and this one is y and y bar. Every time you have to, when you are plotting the point, you have to mention the x-axis. Okay, x and x bar and y bar, and the point of intersection is called origin O. So now start marking the point. +1 +2 +3 +4 +5 +6 +7 +8 and +9 for positive y axis. Then we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8 for positive x axis. Then we have -1 -2 -3 -4 -5 -6 and -7 for negative x axis. Then we have -1 -2 -3 -4. Okay, now let's start marking the point. First point that we have is x is -2 and y is 8. That means we'll go in the negative direction of x and upward side for y. That means x -2 and y 8 will be here. This is x -2 and y 8. Next point is x -1 and y 7. X -1 is here and y +7 will be here. This is our x -1 and y 7. Next we have x0 and y is -1.25. x0, that means will stay at the origin, and y is -1.25. 1.25 means this is our 1, this is 2, so in the middle we have 1.5, and between that we will have 1.25, so that point will be here. This is x0 and y is -1.25. that means we have to divide this region of 1 centimeter into 4 parts. On the first part will represent the 1.25. okay, 1.25. Next one is x1 and y3. X is +1 and y is +3, so that point will be here. X +1 and y +3. okay, and the last point is x is 3 and y is -1. We have x3 which will be here and y -1 will be in the downward direction. So this point is x3 and y -1. Okay, so that's how we plot the given point on the Cartesian plane system or the xy plane. Okay, with this we have finished the exercise 3.3 and also the chapter number 3, which is coordinate geometry. Okay, now what you have to do is you have to practice all these questions multiple times. You have to represent them on the graph paper. You will have to use the graph paper for this. You will at first you have to draw the xy plane or Cartesian plane using pencil and scale. Okay, then start plotting the point. Okay, so that's all for today's class. Thanks for joining here.